This is your blah 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 galactic. You know the rest. I feel as I do this more and more, my usual standard intro will start to get a little bit played out, generic, flavored out. So I think I'll be mixing it up here and there ever so often. Because motherfucker, I know who you are already. Get on with it, you son of a bitch. Indeed. That's personally how I feel.
Anyways, what are we going to do today, Mr. Doom?
Same thing we do every day. Every day. Art and grind, my boy. Art grind. Yes, indeed, evildoers. We're going to be doing a piece. Why am I saying we? What the fuck? I'm going to be doing a piece on my character. Our favorite coffee brewing space sexing space zapping evil witch. But not really. Miss Skally Wag. Oh baby. Damn. Guaranteed to make you dance with the devil, baby. Damn. And a couple of things here is, I'm not going to lie, this is an old process video. It's about a month or two old. So I'm not going to lie about that. It was just shelved because of lack of time. But the PSD remains untouched till part 2, 3, hell, even 4. I just don't know. Something that I didn't do at the time that I'm trying to cement now into my standard routine whenever I pick up a pencil or a stylus is try to capture an action line. Something I really didn't do here. And the other thing that I do as well, as you're seeing, is thumbnails. Before thumbnails, I never did thumbnails before. I didn't even know about thumbnails. Now I do them all the time, regardless of character, environment, weapon, vehicle, whatever the hell it is. I'm always gonna go ahead and thumbnail anything. With Miss SkallyWag, I did do the thumbnails, and I have a folder for her that has various reference pictures, along with my other characters, Skully, Doom, and my minions and various other things. I didn't look at my reference folder for Miss SkallyWag. What happened with her is I started thumbnailing because at the time I was talking a lot about her, so she kinda came out spontaneous. Like, she came out and I just started doing thumbnails for her and decided to do an actual piece on her since I've been talking about her a lot. So I got the thumbnail that I want here. No reference. The thing about reference with me that I didn't know about this, and I actually saw a piece about it, is when you have reference, at least for me, I had the reference on one monitor, and on the other monitor, I paint. But I start painting and I would follow the reference and become a slave to that reference. So I would end up copying the pose and changing the face and little things here and there. But basically it would be a copy of that reference. Now what I do, as I showed, is thumbnails. And even if the fucking pose or whatever have you I'm doing is wanky, stanky, messed up, deformed, fucked up, I don't care how it looks, the pose in this case, the pose is so messed up and everything is messed up, feet, hands, face, everything, whatever is all fucked up. I'll go ahead and worry about that later when I start collecting the reference for her face, maybe whatever she's going to wear, whatever she wears. And nothing is set in stone here because this character, I want it to look like it looks inside my brain. I want it to mimic from what I'm seeing in my head to the digital canvas. That's what I want. So maybe the character might not look exactly like I want it to look as it looks inside my head because of my lack of skill and knowledge on certain things like light anatomy and what have you. But this is a pretty damn good alpha. I was gonna call it a beta, but I'm gonna call it alpha. And I have a general idea of how I want her to look like. She's not going to be your typical witch, your typical green witch. No, I want her to be joyful. I want her to wear colorful clothes. She owns her own damn coffee company. Hence, SkallyWag's I haven't even named the coffee brew. But, this is all laying the foundation down to certain things that I'm doing. That includes all my stuff, my projects, beginning with Skully and Doom. And she's not really part of Skully and Doom, but hey, you might see Doom drinking a cup of SkallyWag's coffee brew. And that's not the official name. I'm not sure yet. See, these are all ideas that I'm throwing into her brew pot, her coffee brew pot, along with her actual style and face and anything else. Everything is just alpha. Because I expect the characters that I'm doing right now, especially for my projects, I expect them to evolve as my skill evolves. Because right now I'm shitty. I know that. I accept that and I know that, but that doesn't mean I'm not doing nothing about it. I'm trying. And that's all I can do is try. With SkallyWag, what I thought about when I think about her is, what's that show I was watching? I was watching I Love Lucy, and there was another show I was watching online. I'm trying to remember. God damn, I can't remember. It goes, oh, Addams Family. Yeah. Addams Family. So, you see what I'm doing here? I'm pulling from what I seen. I'm pulling Wednesday. So maybe I'm going to use her as a base. I'm going to go ahead later on in part 2. You'll see me. I'll show you the reference that I collect. Right now is what I'm pulling from my head instead of an actual photo. It's kind of like I have the image of her, and this is not a movie. This is like the show. It's not the very old one. It's the one in color. There's a one in color one. So that's what I'm pulling from my head and laying it down instead of following reference. Reference is what I'm going to be getting later. And something that I didn't do, as I stated, was the action. And since this is an old video, I would have actually started off finding the action and go from there. And the process that I'm showing right here is not the process that I take all the time. This more painterly process. Sometimes I do painterly, sometimes I do the painter and then lower the opacity and start sketching. Sometimes I do the sketching and then the painterly, and vice versa. I'm always looking for ways to explore, ways to try anything, just things to try out, things like that. So this is not my default way of me doing things. I'm always going to be doing things differently, I think, until I find something that I actually start doing repetitively, keep doing that same process, and maybe that'll become my default process until I decide to actually move away from there for a while and start doing something else. And I'm looking at Miss Skally Wag, and she's actually looking pretty damn good. You know? This is all has to do recently with me. I was gonna save this with my podcast, and I don't know if I'll be doing it, but I'm gonna go ahead and try. Take a drink of this. I'm gonna go ahead and try, but I might as well say it right here. Recently, September 19th, I got the official paperwork and I quit my job because I was putting in, 2-4 hours into this crap. And what would 15 hours do as opposed to 2 to 4 hours or an hour and a half to 15, 16, 10 hours a day of studying and things like that have to do with this craft of art? What would that do to me from right now all the way to 2020? See what I mean? 1 hour to 15 hours. And I think about, because I was looking at, I'm saying this because I was looking at some of my old work when I was doing stick figures. I was just doing stick figures and lines, and I still do lines. I still practice lines and boxes. But that was all on top of an hour to 4 hours at the max. Now let's see what we can do. Why do I keep saying we? God damn it. Now let's see what I can do with 15 hours of studying time that I'm going to go ahead and put into this craft for that much of time. 2020. I want to see how much more I can improve from now to then. And I think I improved a little bit, but it's nowhere where I want to be. I'll never be there where I want to be if I would have stuck with 1 hour. Hell no, at the time that I was putting into it. With the current time, just come home, sleep, do a little bit of art. Now I could do art while maintaining and spending some time with my little munchkin. But we're gonna see where we land off here. And now that I see this, that I'm watching this process of Miss SkallyWag coming to life, as I see her in my head, without no reference, that's later. Remember, later. We're picking up that later with the reference. This is why I'm just doing generic. I got some boots on her. I got this dress. Frustration is setting in right here, making her wiggle a little because, baby, you got a nice wiggle. Damn. And I sat back right here and looked at the piece, drank some of that brew, SkallyWag's brew. And I said to myself, where do I want to go with this? Okay, I see a few things here. I see she's holding an umbrella. What is she holding in her hand? I see something in her hand. Maybe it could be Doom. She put a spell on Doom and she's holding him. And as for her getup, I haven't really thought about it. Maybe a dress, a colorful dress, or obviously she's wearing boots, some good dark black boots, and her hair. I don't know if I'll leave that as her hair. I don't know if that will be her actual hair. This is just a character that's an alpha that goes with all my characters that I'll be showing the internet, that I'll be putting on the internet, whether it be Scully, Doom, the minions, the Doomians, monsters, all of them. These are all just alphas. They're all gonna get better and better as my skill gets better. So I think with that one, I'm gonna go ahead and leave it as that, and I'll be returning in part deuce, number 2. We're gonna be leaving Miss SkallyWag right here, and we're gonna go ahead and collect there I go again. God damn you, you son of a bitch. I'm just gonna go ahead and collect reference and make a color palette for her. Alpha, everything alpha. And the background, I have no clue what I'm gonna do for the background. I'm not a master of backgrounds, so I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do for that. Something that I'm learning as well, backgrounds. See, this is all lack of knowledge, but hey, I'm trying. And I know I'm gonna get better. I'll see you evildoers in part 2, where we collect reference or have collected reference. And maybe do some we are gonna do some fixes and maybe some color work.